you chat?
Always. Hello.
Hi.
How are ya?
How are you?
I am good. I am deeply affected by the sun, I've realized. So like on days that it's very sunny, I feel substantially more alive.
You have SAD.
Seasonal affective disorder. I do. I have rad and sad.
You have rad and sad. Do you have one of those sad lamps?
I don't, because I hate things that are ugly, and I think they are ugly.
Something unique about me is I hate things that are ugly.
I think they are ugly, but like I noticed a feeling. I was pulling out of my driveway this morning. The sun was shining. I have so much to do. I was like, okay, no big deal. If it was raining, I'd be like, oh my God, when will this day end?
Would you prefer snow or rain?
Snow. Every time.
Interesting.
Because it very rarely rains when it's sunny. Like
when does it snow when it's sunny?
It can like be, or I should say bright.
Yes.
Like it doesn't need to feel like gloomy. It just feels like you're in a snow globe.
Okay, FYI, snow is just frozen rain.
I know.
So it's the same amount of cloud coverage.
It's not also though when you walk through the snow, you don't need to be drenched. When you walk through the rain to your car, drenched.
But like the other day, it was raining and then it started snowing and it turned to like a sleet.
Well, that's horrible.
And I was like, why can't it just rain?
Rain is my least favorite weather phenomena.
Oh, I love rain.
I only like rain in very specific situations, and I will tell you the situation. I have nowhere to be, not one place to go, no errands to run, and I can remain in my home all day, and my dogs don't ask to go out a bunch. If any of those things has changed, the rain is my enemy.
Wow. Well, you better let the dogs know. Ladies,
I do find they're
it's
a little
raining.
I do find that they're a little bit more subdued on rainy days.
They're catching your vibe.
I think they're just like, kind of a rainy day. But like I had to do a ton of errands the other day in the rain.
Pissed off.
I was pissed.
And you know what pisses me off?
Ooh, what?
You know what's supposed to be really nice when like you have like you have to run in really quickly. And so you're in the car with your significant other and you're like, oh, this is great. Like instead of me having to do this and like park and run in, you can just drop me. Doesn't this happen all the time?
This never happens to me. That's why I'm so curious.
What do you mean? You're on your way somewhere and you need to pick up something to bring.
Oh yeah, I'll just be like, drop me off at the door.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you were okay. I misunderstood what you were saying. Got it.
You have a return to do.
I got it. Yeah,
this has never happened to you.
No, it has. I misunderstood what you were saying.
What did you think I was saying?
I thought you were saying like you're both sitting at home and you're like, I have errands to do. We should both go.
No.
Okay.
That's not something I've ever done.
That's where I was like, I've literally never had that happen. Okay, continuing.
You're already out.
Got it. You're going somewhere. You're like, oh, we'll do this. That happens a lot. Understood.
Yes.
Locked and loaded.
Or like you're like, oh, I have this return in the back seat. Pull up to here.
And I'll just run in.
It's like, oh my gosh, this is like the easiest errand in the world because you don't have to park.
Yep.
What irks me is when my sweet
I know what you're
husband
going to say because it irks you when I do it too.
drops me off on the wrong side.
Drops you off on the wrong side or isn't immediately back at the front when you walk out.
No, I don't care about you can't time that.
I know, but you're like, where'd you park? I'm like, in the parking lot.
No, like I'll call you and be like, hi, I'm outside. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm swinging around. You're coming around you went to get a Diet Coke. Okay. That is kind of annoying.
Okay, keep going.
But it annoys me when so I'm on the passenger side of the car and I would love to be dropped off passenger side so that I just dip into the store. But I 9 times out of 10 get dropped off on the other side of the street. He's on the side facing the store and I'm on the parking lot side. And so not only do I have to cross in front of his car, but also oncoming traffic, risking my life.
Oh God, you're a hero.
Like if you are dropping me off, why can you not you pull in the right way? And he's like, well, we came in from over here. Well, loop in the other way.
Oh gosh.
Chivalry.
It's apparently dead in your house.
Like, are you trying to make it easy when I have to cross in front of the car?
I thought you were going to say, are you trying to kill me?
Are you?
And I was like, well, that seems extreme. I hear you. It is annoying. I don't think it's something that I would like.
And I just happen to be the runner-inner of things, as you mentioned, you and I as well.
Because you always want to run into something.
It's not a want. It's not like I'll be like, should I grab this? And you're like, yeah, pull up, drop me off. And then I come out of the store and you're in the McDonald's drive-thru. You're like, oh, I thought I'd get us Diet Cokes. I had one thing to get in Target.
But the opposite is true. Like, what if I didn't go and then we had to go get the Diet Cokes?
At least I'm in the car.
Just drink the Diet
Not
Coke and say
standing
thank
outside
you.
with a Target bag looking like a homeless person.
I actually saw a woman leaving Target the other day and I had so many questions. It was pouring rain and she had her Duna, like her
Baby
stroller, and she called an Uber.
Yeah.
What did the Duna click into?
It doesn't have to click into a base. You can use the seatbelt.
Oh, wow, I feel so much better. I saw her getting into the Uber and I was like,
It just makes it like really seamless for it to click into the base, but that's why it's like the best travel stroller specifically, because like you can toss it into a cab and use the seatbelt to like pull it through and click it in so that it like is secure.
I saw the Uber pull up and I was like, Duna? Uber?
Is that a special Uber with Duna bases?
It's a Duber. I was like,
It's a Duber.
I was like, what is going on?
And if Duna is listening, what a great marketing.
Totally.
Like, and if you want to pay an extra $5, we have Duna bases installed in some of our cars.
Yeah. Like a Duna X Uber collab. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't be giving these ideas away for free.
We shouldn't be.
No, call us, pay us. We're geniuses. I decided to go back to our old school icebreakers. I have one for you.
Oh, okay, good.
I am curious, what is your hot take on a show or movie? So either like you hate a show that everyone loves, and I don't just mean like, you know, This Is Us, like something that like people you know love it and you hate it, or the opposite.
Okay, but This Is Us is one.
I knew you were going to say that, and that doesn't count because a lot of people love to hate it.
A lot of people love to hate it. I feel like a lot of people just love it.
It's both. Like people are like, I'm obsessed, or people are like, it's too much.
So something I love that people hate.
Yeah, or the reverse. For instance, mine, I think that Save the Last Dance.
Oh, any opportunity to talk about Save the Last
It's
Dance?
one of the greatest films of the early aughts.
Okay.
Like, it's so good. Julia Stiles is a great actress. The plot is amazing. The dancing, while I understand that her audition at Juilliard is not amazing, it's just great. I mean, Kerry Washington is in it. These are great actresses.
Kerry Washington was in it?
She was the sister.
She was the sister. Mm-hmm. But people don't hate that movie.
They don't think it's as good as it is. Like, people aren't ever talking about Save the Last Dance when like classics of the 2000s come up.
I think it is kind of up there, though.
It doesn't make lists. Like, I've read.
It's not everyone's favorite fucking movie like it is yours, but people do like it.
Well, more people should like it. Specifically should.
I've only seen it 17 times with you.
And you don't like it.
It's enough.
You didn't like it the first time.
When do you watch my favorite movies with me?
I have watched everything with you. Anything you ever wanted to watch, I'm like, sure.
My favorite movies?
When The Help, I've seen 4,000 times with you. Ain't you tired, Hilly? I am tired of The Help.
How could you be?
Ain't you tired, Rachel? No.
I love that movie.
So yeah.
That's one.
I've watched the I Could Eat.
Antoine
Fisher.
And you love it.
I like it a lot, but I'm saying I've watched
These are actually good movies.
But you just said Save the Last Dance is a good film.
No, I didn't say it was good. I said I think people appreciate it. It's not good.
Oh, okay. Just to clarify.
Something that I feel like there's probably tons of things that I hate that people really love. Not necessarily hate, but like, so I'm like the biggest fan of reality TV, right?
True.
I'll watch like anything. Sometimes it's crazy how I can't like get into something that so many people are getting into reality based, like Love Island.
I've never gotten into Love Island either.
I have tried Love Island UK. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I want to get
obsessed.
it. And people are like obsessed with it. And there's so many episodes. There's like 100 episodes in a season. Don't get that. Most things on TLC.
TLC is terrible.
But like I want to like 90 Day Fiance. It's a crazy concept.
Yeah.
I've tried. I've really tried.
I've put in the work.
Like I'm like, oh, another reality show that seems interesting. Like I watch almost everything on Bravo.
Bravo is top tier reality though. Except I never got into Below Deck.
Oh, I like Below Deck.
People love Below Deck. I can't. Something about like them being trapped on a boat and like the service component.
They're not trapped. That's where they choose to be. You have like some bullshit about entrapment.
No, but I just feel like they're on this boat and then like there's too much service involved. Like on Vanderpump, yeah, they were waitresses and bartenders, but like they weren't hitting me in the face with it.
That is kind of the point, though. It's like the upstairs, downstairs of yachting. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, watch Downton Abbey.
Yes, it's yachting Downton Abbey.
I know, and I love Downton Abbey.
So, and like early seasons, Kate Chastain, wow, slay.
Kate Chastain sounds like a famous actress, like that name.
She should be.
Probably because of like Jessica Chastain and Kate Winslet. It's like if they had a baby.
It would be her.
But it's like sounds so regal. Like I feel like reality TV's names are like Kristen Doty.
Dolores Catania.
Like Kristen Doty. Like it's like Tom Sandoval. Like they're just like people you know. But Kate Chastain has a real ring.
I love her.
I don't know her, but great name.
Give it a go.
Interesting.
I would say that's mine. Like when I'm like TLC stuff, like stuff that like a lot of times the reality shows that really like take the world by storm, for some reason those don't always hit with me, except I do love Traitors, and like everyone's always talking about Traitors.
Yeah, I can't get into that one.
That's crazy.
I've tried.
You haven't tried?
No, I have multiple times, multiple seasons.
Really?
The table, the challenges, like either.
Oh, you don't like reality competition.
I really don't. Like I don't need you to go like wade in a river.
Mike and I love reality competition. Those are like the only reality shows we watch together.
But
Big Brother.
I love the challenge.
Yeah, that's reality competition.
But it wasn't, it's the combination for me. It's like what I didn't like about Survivor. Like do the competition and that's how you get eliminated. I don't need you to then like vote and like it's too elaborate. Why are we living in a house, bungee jumping, and then sitting down at a table to pick who's leaving?
Because it's the social game is like the other interesting part of it. Like
then I don't need the other.
Off.
I think that's why like Big Brother's easier for me because it's just a social game. Like
you also don't like Big Brother.
But I could. I just don't have time to add it to my repertoire.
No, I don't have time. Mm-hmm. That was I feel like everyone has like a like postpartum show.
Yeah.
Because you're like just like
stuck
home with your baby and like your husband's off, you're off. You're both home. You're like trapped and like handcuffed to your baby's crib. It's right. You know, horrible.
Sounds lovely.
Or
okay.
A blessing.
Go on.
And a lot of people have like a postpartum show, and mine and Mike's was Big Brother Canada. BB Can. There were like 8 seasons, all on Paramount Plus, no commercials. And each season had like 30 episodes. I mean, we didn't even get through all of them, and it was like the entertainment. It was like light and fun, but like good drama.
I love that for you. I love reality TV, but
save it for when you have a baby.
I like more situational. Like I like we are sucked into Summer House right now. Like Tyler and I, we're also watching like some serious shows like
Severance,
Under the Banner of Heaven. And every night when we get into bed, we're like, we should just watch Summer House. Like it's great drama. It's interesting. Like I just want to watch these people fuck up their lives.
Yeah. Mike and I, when we watch like a regular show, like a whatever, a real scripted show, we watch that like more in the living room. And then we save our reality show when we watch it.
Yeah. Like it's a bed environment. Like I'm sitting there with my like coffee in the morning before we start work. We always watch a show and I'm like,
okay, no one watches TV in the morning. That
people
is
do.
Really weird.
It's so nice. And days that we don't, I notice a difference in my day. I forget what day it was, but I could not be woken. Like the alarm was going off. Tyler kept being like, do you want to get up? Do you want to get up? I was like, 5 more minutes. No. Finally, he was like, hi, like I'm getting up. I'll wake you up when I get out of the shower for you to shower. And I missed our whole like beginning of the day. It fucked me up. I didn't have as good of a day.
What's interesting actually is that a couple weeks ago, it was the weekend. And we woke up and Jack was playing and I was like, do you want to watch that episode? Because like there's going to be a ton of spoilers.
Oh, of Severance?
No, of what I can't remember what it was. And I was like, do you want to watch it before like I get up and shower? And he was like, oh, sure. So we turn on the show. When the show was over, it was like an hour of my morning gone. I felt like the laziest piece of shit in the world. Like I was just then getting out of bed.
Oh, well, we do it before work. So we do it at 6:30 in the morning. So then like we get up by 7:30 to shower and go to work. I just lose time to sleep.
Yeah, that's normal.
Like, I don't know, but like I get enough sleep. It just like gets my day started. So I'm not like sleeping, thrust into work.
Uh-huh.
It's like I get up, we take the dogs out, we have coffee, we chat, we watch an episode, and then the day begins. And I feel like, oh, I've already had my time. It's like my work then is in the middle of my day as opposed to like the whole front part of it.
Right.
For me personally.
No, I can't get on board with that. That's something that you love that I hate.
Love. Like, that's not even a hot take. That's fucking weird.
That's just weird.
Did you see that there were a couple people who were omitted from the Oscars in memoriam that people were very upset about?
Oh, Shannon Doherty.
Shannon Doherty. Who else? There was one other person.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you're watching, you're like, hey, like if you're a big Shannon fan. Was she in movies though, or just Charmed?
That she was in a lot more than just Charmed.
She was.
I don't know if she was in Michelle Trachtenberg.
Oh.
People were really pissed that they omitted Michelle Trachtenberg.
Why wasn't she in it?
I know. And I think she died like at the same time Jean did. It wasn't like, oh, sorry, it was already done.
No, like same day.
Yeah.
I think.
And she was in movies.
Yeah, that is sad.
Yeah. No offense to Shannon Doherty. I think Shannon Doherty might have died in 2024. Oh, wait, it was 2024. Forget everything I've said.
But most importantly, Michelle Trachtenberg.
I know. I thought that was sad.
Wow. Obviously not people who appreciate Harriet the Spy.
She must have pissed off somebody at the Academy.
Did you see a story about that actually?
About what?
She was working on a screenplay that was exposing Mattel before she died.
Interesting. No.
Apparently, the director and producer of Gossip Girl, Casey Tebow, revealed that he'd been working with her to secure production for a screenplay called Toy Monster, which was based on Jerry Oppenheimer's 2009 book exposing the big bad world of Mattel, and things that they've been trying to keep hidden.
Well, that's a curious series of events. I mean, Hollywood has an extremely seedy underbelly, so I would never count out someone killing her.
People
Also,
were talking about the seedy underbelly after some of the winners at the Academy Awards, such as Wicked not winning.
I'm sorry. Wicked did not deserve to win.
You don't think it was the best picture of the year? You think Anora was better?
I think Honora was more interesting and more original.
Or how could it be original? Wicked is a movie about a play.
But the play was the original thing. The movie based on the play is not original.
There's so many movies that have won Best Picture that were based on plays.
No, I know. I'm just saying I don't think it was the most I thought Wicked was great, but I don't think it deserved.
Moulin Rouge, Chicago.
I didn't love any of those either.
I think we do need to talk about where we've gotten here in the history of film and the types of movies that are winning Best Picture compared to like even 20 years ago.
I don't disagree with you, but I think given the presidency right now, we have bigger fish to fry than how we've gotten here with our movies. Like, I'm more concerned about why we won't help Ukraine. How did we get here?
Let me just go through some of these, okay? This year, Anora won. Fine. Going back to, well, we don't need to go back to the 50s, do we?
Happier times.
1965, The Sound of Music.
Okay. Your point?
Are people going to be watching Anora in 40 years? I don't think so.
But I also
72, The Godfather. 75, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. 76, Rocky. 77, Annie Hall. 79, Kramer versus Kramer. Like, these are movies that are just like classic movies. 83, Terms of Endearment. 85, Out of Africa. 86, Platoon. 88, Rain Man.
Okay. You sound like Rain Man right now.
90, Dances with Wolves. I mean, come on.
But I think, first of all, when they won, no one knew they were going to be classics. They'd only been out a year.
No, but like they won because they're like movies that reached. I wanted to say roached.
That's
for some reason. And then I was like, roached. They're movies that reached such a
That does sound
wide.
wrong.
Yeah.
Movies that have reached. did reach.
Reached. Roached.
It's not roached. I don't think. No, I'm just kidding.
Did they roach a lot of people? And we didn't know?
I hear you. I totally get what you're saying.
95 Braveheart.
Okay.
96 The English Patient.
Okay.
97 Titanic. I'm just like, these are movies that are like classics. Like, and when
And you
really,
think Wicked is like that?
yes, I do. Compared to those, yes, I do.
Okay.
Think about it.
I just think Honora was so well done and interesting and like such
There's
a
a lot
powerful story.
There's a lot of movies that are so well done and interesting that do not deserve to win Best Picture of the year. I think Best Picture is like, and when you think about that year, this movie came out. That's the like baseline for me. It's like, and when you think about the movies that came out in 97, Titanic, beating out Good Will Hunting. I mean, like, that's a tough fucking category. Talk about quality movies.
Good Will Hunting should have won.
What?
I love Good Will Hunting.
Same, but Titanic.
I know Titanic. Titanic is a movie I can't watch that much because it makes me so sad.
Well, I don't. It's also, 2 VHS tapes.
It's true. I don't have the system or the time.
No. Yeah, I just think we've gotten slowly more towards movies that are like, what the fuck? And I feel like maybe it all started in 2011 with The Artist.
I thought you liked that movie.
What? It was a silent film.
What movie am I thinking of that you like?
Argo.
No, I wouldn't get those two confused. What's the one where like he's a conductor and he's a deaf son?
Okay, that's Mr. Holland's Opus.
I don't know The Artist. It sounds like it could be that.
You mixed up Artist and Opus?
Okay.
Okay, also that came out in 95 and is a classic, which I compared to Coda when that won in 2021.
You liked Coda.
I liked Coda. Is it better than Mr. Holland's Opus? No. Did Mr. Holland's Opus win Best Picture? No. Was it even nominated? No.
Okay. I do think we have probably bigger fish to fry right now, but maybe in 5 to 10 years we can circle back on this.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just if anyone needs a homework assignment for this weekend, watch Mr. Holland's Opus and then watch Coda. Similar story vibes, and just let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get off my soapbox, or will I?
I just think that the world is being like thrust into quite a predicament, and so like the Oscars are really pretty low on our plate.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Trump's address to the nation?
I mean,
Why was it so long?
why is everything he does so long?
I don't know, but like it was on, we were at trivia at a bar and it was on the TV behind us, and like people kept looking at it. It was on mute.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, oh my, is he still talking, or is this like the news clips replaying? No, he's still going.
It was quite long. It was honestly stomach ache inducing.
Some of the things that happened. So, in overview, delivered a long speech to a rowdy chamber, marking his first joint address to Congress in 3 taking office. He entered to the chants of "America is back" and "USA." It's just like when people start chanting "USA," like
That should only happen at the Olympics.
or fraternities.
Sure.
Those two things are fine.
That's it.
Like, of course, we're all patriotic here. We are members of the United States government. Like, if you're chanting Russia, we have a problem.
Oh, we're pretty close to that, but yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine they start walking in and people are like, "RUSSIA.
I'd be like, we're out of here.
We are moving." So he started off by talking about what a great job he's done so far.
I just think in all things, not even with the presidency, when you have to continually tell people what a good job you've done, you probably haven't done that good of a job. It should speak for itself.
I agree. Record low illegal border crossings, a freeze on foreign aid, cuts to federal agency budgets, took a opportunity to jab Biden for rising egg prices, talked about his, quote, beautiful tariffs, Tariffs are beautiful. What a weird word to describe a tariff.
These beautiful, beautiful tariffs. I saw a funny meme today that was like, I'm worried about measles and tariffs. I feel like an American girl. Like an American Girl doll.
No, literally.
Like, hello, I'm Jonna. I'm from 2025. I'm very concerned about the tariffs being imposed and hoping that my family doesn't get measles. We've also been out of eggs for 7 weeks.
You're living in like...
And grandma's feeling ill.
Grandmother's feeling ill. Yeah, basically he talked about how DEI is dead. He said
DEI is DEAD.
DEI is DOA.
Not funny, actually horrible.
He said, quote, our country will be woke no longer. Back to sleep for all of you. We've been woke long enough and we've seen the other side.
God damn it.
We know what it's like to employ people of all backgrounds and races.
Like, if I don't laugh, I'll literally cry. Like, every night I get into bed and I ask Tyler, like, should I be scared? I am a little scared.
And he says,
No, I think it's going to be okay. But I think he's lying to me.
Probably.
I don't think he thinks I can handle the truth.
Do you not know what I think is crazy? Trump's like, when I was watching some of the clips after, his stance, like when he stands at a podium and he's like holding on to the sides, you know, it's like being in the front row of a roller coaster. Like he's like holding on for dear life and like swaying back and forth. Like, where are you going?
I'm more intrigued by all the people who talk about like what a good businessman he is when like he's run horrible businesses. Like, needed so much bailout money.
But he is really rich, so some things went well.
Yeah, being a criminal.
Have you seen some of the pictures online of people who've like rebranded their Teslas? Like they own a Tesla, but like
are embarrassed.
Yeah, so like they've had like they turned the Tesla into like a Toyota symbol.
That's hilarious. I would do that.
Like someone had like the Tesla taken off and then just on the back had like Honda Civic.
Oh my God, I love that. Something that fires me up is the thought that Elon Musk has like 14 children by multiple women. And if that were a woman, Trump and all of his little fucking losers would be making them out to be a whore. Like if Biden had someone working so closely with him, you know, he'd be like, and he had so-and-so who has 6 baby daddies and all. It's like the double standards are astounding.
Yeah, I mean, that is just no surprise at all.
It just fires me up.
What are you going to do about it?
Nothing. I have no control.
Help us.
I'm just sitting here.
Do something for women.
Worried about tariffs and measles.
You're worried about measles?
Oh my God, Tyler was so funny. He went to his
physical
the other day. How'd you know?
Because at trivia the other night, all he could talk about was how he should only eat a salad.
I mean, how'd you know what I was going to say? And he got his results back and he was like, you know what? It's actually really annoying. They always tell me I'm deficient in vitamin D. I get my physical in the winter. He was like, in the summer, I go to the pool all the time.
He could take a vitamin D supplement.
No, totally. But he was like, this isn't an accurate representation. Like, I'm in the sun.
Does he have doctor anxiety?
No, not really. Neither do I, actually.
Neither do I.
Does Mike?
He doesn't like going. I don't know if it's anxiety. I guess I could ask.
I feel totally indifferent.
Speaking of asking your partners things, I actually read this New York Times article that was really interesting about a way that partners, but like also friends, can communicate better. And it's mostly having to do with like when someone is venting about something.
Interesting.
Which happens all the time.
I love to vent personally.
And you love, what was the thing that I...
Oh, we've implemented it. I know what it is. If I'm venting, Tyler will ask me, like, not just like if I'm venting about like something stupid, like an actual problem. He'll be like, that really sucks. Do you want me to come up with a solution or just listen? Because sometimes he'd try and help me and I was like, no, none of that will work.
Yes.
And so if he asks, then I'm like, interesting. I'd like help. Or I'm like, no help can be given.
So this is something that like I have said that you should do.
It's useful.
And this is like now being like considered a method that I didn't trademark in any way.
I mean, it makes sense.
So it says, how many times have you come home and started sharing about something that happened in your day, and before you feel like you've finished even explaining the details, your partner's coming up with solutions and telling you what you should do tomorrow to make the situation better. But that's not what you're looking for, and you end up getting in a fight. I feel like this happens to a lot of people. Like, you're not listening to me. I'm not talking about that. Like,
Totally.
whatever.
Or you don't get it.
Right. And so the method is called the heard, helped, or hugged. And if you're the person sharing the story, before you're like gonna come in and share it, you should think to yourself, am I looking to just feel heard? Do I want to be helped, or do I want to be hugged?
Great. Those are great questions. I always want to be hugged.
Thinking like, is this something I just want to vent about? Am I looking for a solution, or do I need some compassion and empathy? Like, do I need, not necessarily an actual like physical hug? I mean, you could, but like also like just someone to say like,
That's terrible.
yes. And if you're the listener, you're thinking, oh, sorry. And if you're the listener, you're sort of thinking that in your head. Like, is this something that the person wants to be heard, helped, or hugged?
Useful tactic.
And it's like something you can like, it sounds like something that you should teach your kids, really. Like,
And something you should do with your friends too. Like,
yes.
I feel like so often you're like such a dive into action mode. And so you're like, well, what you should do is, and I really just should say to you, like, no. There's no solution. I just want you to agree with me.
Yes.
Like, I just need someone, a lot of times I'll work out a solution. My first stop though is I need someone to just tell me that I'm right. Like, that is terrible. And then I'm like, okay, great. A lot of times that's what it is. I want both. I want to be hugged and then helped.
But a lot of times I'll say, are you looking for me to give you a solution, or just listen?
Totally. That's what I'm saying. I think it's super useful with your friends. I actually am looking for a 2-part situation.
Oh, you want it all. You're like, I want to be heard, helped, and hugged.
But like, it's true. Like, I first want whoever I'm talking to be like, that sucks. And then I'm more receptive to solutions, because for some reason my brain computes them giving me solutions into like it not being so bad. Like, oh, we'll just do this and fix it. I'm like, no, motherfucker, you're not understanding.
Do you know what I'm not looking for? And I hope my husband's listening.
What?
I actually really hate when you're like trying to come up with a solution for something. Like, you're like, we have to be here at this time, but I need to bring this here, and I promise so-and-so we drop this off. It's like, you have a problem that you're trying to work out together.
Yeah.
And then Mike will suggest like something really stupid that will never work, like purposefully. Like, he'll be like, what you could do is not do any of those things.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like a bad idea, which is such my trigger. I have a friend who like, you'll do something dumb and she'll be like, why would you suggest that? And it's like, well, I obviously didn't think it was dumb.
Oh.
So I thought you were saying like he'll come up with a dumb solution. I'm like, well, maybe he doesn't think it's dumb, but yeah, that's dumb.
It's so annoying. It's like, okay, we're actually trying to figure something out here.
Maybe
You're just wasting my time.
He's just bringing lightness to the situation.
I don't need that right now. I need to be helped.
I don't need stupid solutions.
I don't need a hug.
That's not even really a hug. That's more of like a push.
I don't need lightness. I need solutions.
See, that kind of makes me laugh.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
Like, if you were to be like, you could do none of that, I'd be like, well, obviously I can't, but ha ha ha.
Not in the wrong mood
No,
for
not
you.
in the wrong mood. I'd have to be like, it's all very mood specific. It's like the weather.
Yeah.
One turn of the wind.
If you're like stressed about something for work specifically, and I'm like, or you could email, fuck off.
I'm like, what the fuck is that going to do?
You'd be like, yeah, good idea. Good idea.
Get her out of here.
So that is something I think that more people should implement. That and the 2-word check-in.
We love a 2-word check-in.
Is your household just run on like suggestions that I've made?
I actually don't think about the 2-word check-in that much, but Tyler loves it.
He does?
Like, if he's like, sees that I'm feeling really stressed, he'll be like, let's do a 2-word check-in. And like, something about him asking it, which he knows, makes me laugh. Like, it's funny. And then I do feel better. So to answer your question, yes.
Yes, we do just use all of these different things.
Is this a word? Amalgamation? Is that combination?
Yeah.
I'm an amalgamation of like suggestions I've heard everywhere. Like, I listen to something on a podcast. I'm like, we should do this. Like, I love new ideas. Thank you.
Me too.
Take it. Maybe
I like
not.
the 2-word check-in just for clarity.
Yeah.
The 2-word check-in is when like you could do it with yourself. Like when you're like feeling like annoyed or overwhelmed by something and you're like, what is it that's like, what am I actually feeling right now? You try and like pinpoint just 2 words. Like you can only do 2 words of how you're feeling. Or like if someone's coming to you to tell you a story and you're like, I can't tell if they're angry or if they're like worried, like then you just say like, how about a 2-word check-in? Like, what are 2 words that describe how you're feeling? And then it just kind of like boils it down and gives you clarity.
They're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And you're like, got it.
Totally.
You're pissed.
And a lot of times when you say it to Jonna, you'll say like, okay, can you do a 2-word check-in? And she'll be like, and this is more something, again, that you should do with children, but like sometimes adults need it, aka Jonna.
Yeah, I'm a child adult.
And she'll be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed but hopeful. Like she really chooses her words intentionally, and you're like, good.
Because I always am hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm feeling less hopeful.
So yeah, keep that in mind for your future woes.
We should start doing a 2-word check-in when we pop on here on these calls.
That's what people want to hear.
I think they're curious. Do you have a dilemma?
I do have a dilemma for you.
Let's hear it.
So this is a dilemma about what to do when your friends hate your significant other, or maybe you're the friend that hates
Someone's significant
other.
Okay.
Okay. So this girl is in college.
Okay.
She says she is in a sorority and she hasn't been dating someone in college until just recently when she started dating this guy.
Okay.
And she was like, I started dating this guy. I think he's really great, whatever. But when I first started dating him, my friends were like, oh, cool, whatever. And then it's been seeming more like they don't want him included in things. Like we'll like be going to something and be like, oh, should I tell him we're going? They're like, no, like let's maybe just make it a girls thing. Or they're like, oh, we don't want to go to their apartment. We want to go somewhere else. Like they're just not like, oh, tell him to come over. Like the girls are not very receptive. And so finally, to the one that she's closest with of the group, she was like, this girl, Allie, let's call her boyfriend Brett. She was like, do you guys not like Brett? And her best friend in the group was like, to be honest, not really. And she was like, what don't you like about him? And she was like, I don't know. It's just like his vibe. He's like kind of cocky and like, I don't know. We don't vibe with him. Like she didn't really give like a clear, like
he didn't do something to them.
He didn't do something and it wasn't like crazy red flags. It was just like they don't like him as a person.
Okay.
And so she's like, now I'm kind of torn. Like it's not like I'm like obsessed with this guy. Like I'm going to marry him. I don't know. But like I do really like him and I like hanging out with him. But I also love my friends. And so I'm kind of torn. Should I just break up with him or not? And it sort of made me think like it's hard to be the person on the other end of that too. Like what do you do when you don't like your close friend's significant other? Like are you supposed to be honest about that?
I think it depends on the reason. I think that's the tough thing about girls. Like I think 99% of the time being a girl is so much better than being a guy. But I think girls are uniquely...
Why do you think being a girl is being better than being a guy?
I just think like they're more emotionally evolved. A lot of times like they're more communicative. Like if they have a problem, they're way more likely to like talk about it with their girlfriends. Like guys could be like, yeah, I'm mad at him, but like we'll literally never talk about it. And it's like,
yeah,
oh,
guys are like
okay.
going through a divorce and they're like,
didn't mention it. You're like, okay. Like literally our husbands are best friends and I'll be like, how was Mike? Good. Did he say anything about X, Y, or Z? No, not really. Oh, okay. Like, it's just not the male nature stereotypically.
yeah,
Obviously, I think like men can be more evolved, but I don't think their nature is to like communicate as well.
right.
But I do think that sometimes that leads to girls can just be, I can't even think of the word, like hyper emotive or hyper communicative about shit that like, just let it sit. Like, maybe you don't like this guy because he's cocky, or maybe you don't like him because your friend's been single a long time and it's kind of changing the vibe of the group and you're not getting to see her as much.
But in this particular scenario, she didn't, like, the friend came to her and said, like, what's going on? It's like she came out and said, we don't like your boyfriend.
But girls, you can pick up on those like nonverbal cues. Nonverbal cues are very important in girl
But you're
groups.
saying like, let it sit. The friend comes to you and is like, what's going on?
But I think if you really want to let it sit, you're not letting on that there's a problem. Like, letting it sit is not being like outwardly demonstrative that you aren't interested in spending time with this person and then being like, well, I didn't say anything. It's like you didn't have to say something in that situation. Now, if the flip side I think is true. Like, your close friends should be the people who like love you the most and support you the most. And if they're seeing a red flag in a relationship that you can't see, that's a different thing. If they're like, I don't like the way he talks to you, or I've heard that he's still like very flirty with other girls, or I've seen him do these things. Those aren't things to dismiss, but I think it's just harder for some reason for girls who are in like a very tight-knit group sometimes to bring in a new element, like a new relationship. Like, I saw that when we were in college. I think that happens in your adult life. Like, if you have a set routine with a group of girls, it can be harder to integrate a relationship into that. If you're a girl's girl.
Which we are.
Like, girls are spending time together, and like she probably has a little less time.
Yeah, everyone has that college friend who like lives at their boyfriend's place, and they're like, okay, you're weird.
Totally. But I think there's an in-between. And I think it can still be hard when you're the in-between. Because you want to give, like, to me, it sounds like this girl's trying to make them like one cohesive unit. Like,
yeah,
can we go to his apartment? Can he come with us? Like, she, from this little bit we read, isn't looking to say like, I'm not spending time with you guys to spend time with him. I want us to all spend time together.
Right.
And like, sometimes cocky is like code for like nervous and trying to be like funny or like out there.
And I also think like, you know, maybe you don't like love this guy right away, but he could grow on you. So like but you don't have to hang out with him every day. I think that's what's hard is like people sometimes in new relationships want to like bring that person. Like, there's not every couple, but some are like, they want to spend every waking second together.
Totally.
And so like they bring them to everything, and it's like, well, we don't necessarily need to see that person everywhere.
No, like if you're bringing him to like a girls' wine night, it's you.
Why? Yes.
That's you. But like if you're all going to a Mexican restaurant and like some of your guy friends are coming and you're like, can I invite him? And they're like, let's not. It's like, but why?
But I think even like on a broader scale of that, especially like as you get older and people are dating more intentionally, and like the person that someone is dating might be around forever.
Mm-hmm. Like when you're, yeah, absolutely.
Then like, I guess, what are you supposed to do if you don't like that person that they've like picked and it's been like a few months and you're like, wow, is that person annoying? You're like, I cannot possibly see like us having regular dinners with them or like going on vacations with them. Like, my husband fucking hates him.
I think then it really just is about your end goal, because those things, whilst annoying, are not reasons that your friend should break up with someone that makes them happy.
Right.
You know,
but
like,
do you say like,
I don't think you do.
If your friend comes to you and is like, I just feel like our husbands don't vibe.
You can't make the husband's vibe, but I think it's your job as like, depending on how close you are, to like make an effort with that person. In the same way that like you might not be obsessed with your friend's siblings or your friend's parents, or like if they're not doing anything that is harmful or wrong per se, they're just annoying. Maybe they're a little bit more outspoken, or they're like a little bit more cocky, or whatever it is. If you love that person, you have to just show up and shut up, and eventually it'll just be like, that's our annoying family member.
Right. But like, let's say you and Tyler were together,
mm-hmm.
married,
mm-hmm.
and I was single,
mm-hmm.
and I want to say like not divorced, like
this is in the past.
Yes.
Let's say roles were reversed. How like, but we can even do it like the reality of when you and Mike were together and I was single. I didn't want to know if you thought someone was annoying. Do you think they're mean to me, or like not smart enough for me, or not motivated enough? Like, those are things that I'm looking for.
You didn't want to know. You didn't want to know if I didn't like someone because I thought they were a douchebag. You didn't want to know at all.
No, it's not that I didn't want to know. It's that like, because I took a lot of like douchebag, loser. Like, you gave me a lot of feedback.
I gave you the feedback. You didn't want it.
But I received it, and it was worth you telling me. Like, those were things that were like, okay, yeah, thank you. That was feedback that made my life
better. The chef, the nurse.
But that was feedback that like is useful and can be like, yes, I need you to see something I can't see. I think feedback that is just like your own personal preference.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
it's just
care.
your own personal preference. But I mean, like, let's say you and Tyler were married, I was single, and I start dating somebody who at first Tyler's like, that guy's kind of annoying, but like, you know, glad she found someone, like, we'll do things as a foursome.
Totally.
And then, you know, it turns out that like they don't have a ton in common, which is fine. Like Tyler likes sports. Maybe this person doesn't like sports. Tyler is into video games. Maybe this person has never played a game in his life.
What
like
games, yeah.
Yeah. What are games? But then it's more of like things where like they don't agree on things. Maybe they differ like politically. Maybe where it gets to a point where Tyler's like, this guy is like an asshole. Spending time with him is horrible. And it's not like you just have to spend time with them like, oh, you know, you're so-and-so's dating someone you don't love. And so like you have to see them a couple times a year. And like that, sorry for that person who has to live with them.
Totally. Not my problem.
Right. It's like not like that. It's like when like a sibling or someone is like really
totally.
dating someone that you don't like. What are you supposed to do?
But I think it's like saying he's an
You're
asshole.
you're like, okay, we hang out 7 out of 7 nights a week and you're supposed to just swallow it.
No. I think saying he's an asshole for me is like, okay, you should tell that person because like he's an asshole
But he's an asshole because he like their views don't align. Maybe he's like a MAGA.
but I'm saying that is a red flag to me. Like that is something worth telling because I know you and that's not how you are. So maybe it's something you don't really know.
But what if I was more in the middle? Like, let's say
if you were more in the middle, it's all about like, is this person, the question is not like, how do they affect me? It's, are they good for the person I care about? Like I used to always joke when I was dating that I was like dating for me and Mike, if you remember that, because it was like, I'm trying to find someone, but I want him to be someone that Mike gets along with. And Mike was always like, oh my God, don't do that. And it was a joke. But like, Mike and I are not that different that like it was easy enough for me to date for someone that like was a good partner for me.
Yeah, two people who love jalapeno poppers.
Exactly.
Let's add another.
Like having a person with similar traits. But the truth is you're not dating for your family. You're dating for you and like for the traits that make sense for your life and that make you feel supported and loved and blah, 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 blah. So just because your sibling is dating someone or going to marry someone that you're not obsessed with, why should they have to sacrifice?
I think you're changing it to not obsessed with to like, don't like. I don't really want to hang out with this person ever.
I just worry that like by sharing that with the person that you do care about, you're kind of taking a gamble. Maybe this is their person and they're going to pass up being with that person because you don't like them.
But I think if there's something so like egregious about that person that you're like, God, I cannot spend time with them, then like, are they the right person?
I don't know because it's like, what is making them so egregious?
Right.
That's such a spectrum.
But I also think like there are people who are like their family or their friends or whoever were never super supportive of their relationship for whatever the fuck the reason is. Maybe the person was an asshole. Maybe it was like religiously or culturally, whatever, not aligned. And so the person like ostracizes their family, is like, this is the love of my life, whatever.
That's a problem.
I feel like those never work out. Like you can't have a long-standing, happy, healthy relationship with your significant other without the support of other people. You just can't.
I agree. The feedback you give to your friends about their partner should really only be information that is detrimental to their success of their relationship. So if it's bad enough that it's going to make it that you can't all spend time together, or
that's what I'm saying. If I, for some reason, lived under a rock and was not picking up on the vibe that like Tyler hated whoever I was dating, I would want you to be like, Tyler does not like this guy.
Yes, but I would have to be so sure that Tyler doesn't like this guy for reasons that are important for you. Like if Tyler's like, he's just annoying as fuck, you'll live. You'll hang out with this annoying person and you'll live.
Every day?
They'll be less annoying. The more you love someone, less their annoying qualities become less.
You're really hoping.
But like if he's like, I don't like this guy because the way he talks to Rachel or the way he talks to you or the way he, approaches work. then that's something that I'm curious about. But you just being like, I don't like him because he's kind of annoying and like a know-it-all. Okay. That's where it's for me. It has to be, it's that initial thing that what you're telling your friend is for the betterment of their life. You're seeing things that they're blinded by like a new relationship and can't see.
Right.
I always think you should do that and be honest. But I think sometimes girls get a little like, catty's not the right word, but like especially in college, I don't know when how old this girl's in college. You said
College.
I think college is a time where like girls are insecure and like things are changing and they feel like nervous that like their friendship's gonna suffer, and so sometimes people act out for not to sound like we're on The Bachelor, but for not the right reasons.
Again, if you are someone, especially like in high school and college, where like that, those are times that are supposed to be about your friends.
Totally.
Just as a caveat, like.
But then you hear about people who met their high school sweetheart.
I know, but
and
there's
you're like, fuck, that's cute.
I just think like college, like you have literally your entire life post college to settle down with someone and spend all of your time. Like,
totally.
American culture is built around people, like that is the norm. Getting married, having a family with someone, living your lives together. Like that is what's considered the norm here. And you have your entire life to do that. When you don't have to do that is when you're in college and can do whatever the F you want.
Totally.
And like enjoy time with your girlfriends.
I agree. But
or if you're a guy friends.
I think you can have a successful relationship in college as long as you keep the balance intact. Anytime people are giving you feedback that's really because they love you and they are concerned about your well-being, you should receive it. I'm not always good at that, but you should. My concern always is I think sometimes people can give feedback too quickly.
Sure.
Without the whole picture, and then you're tainted by that information and it's maybe not for the betterment of you.
Well, what's a good amount of time? Because I feel like if you're like dating someone for like a year and then the person's like, I don't know, like I don't love him. You're like, care to mention earlier, I've been with him a year.
But only if what you don't love about him is that like it's detrimental to your friend.
No. Sometimes you want to know just like, do you as a person vibe with them? To me personally, if your friends don't really like the person that you're dating, to me, it never felt like that relationship was going to work out. Like you didn't like my boyfriend in college.
But that's because he never came around. And also red flag that you didn't want him around.
I didn't want to like mix
business. You don't want to mix church and state.
Yeah.
Business with pleasure.
Like I was like, I want to have time with my girlfriends. Why do I have to bring him around?
But it was hard. It's hard to like someone you don't know.
No, you did get to know him.
Occasionally, yes. But like.
And you didn't like him. And in my world, and I had other friends who knew him.
Yep.
And I was just like, this isn't going to last forever. My friends don't really like him. Like, I like him, but they don't.
But I would argue we were right. Like,
exactly.
But I'm saying, like, I agree with you because I knew him and I didn't like him. And I think all of the feedback you gave me over the course of my life has been valuable. Like, people you didn't like were not right for me. So I appreciate that. But I want But I want to be careful in that I think there is a type of person who sometimes is just resistant to change. Oh, that's a tricky word. Resistant to change.
I'm just saying, I just like made it a priority to balance those things. And I was like, this isn't my forever person. Like my forever person is someone that my friends would like.
I hear you.
You don't think everyone feels that way?
No, I think best case scenario is that, like, not even best case, the dream, what should happen is that everyone gets along with your partner. That's not realistic though, because people have so many different personalities. Like there are people that I love who their partners kind of annoy me, but like I don't spend enough time with them for it to matter. I just think it's so crucial. You don't want to become that friend who's like a hater. So like if you're giving advice or if you're giving feedback on your friend's partner, you better be damn sure that like what you're saying is accurate and it's not just like, I don't really like them.
No, I think for sure. I think if you are in college, to this person specifically to bring it back, if you are in college and you are spending all of your time with your significant other and not a ton of time with your friends,
Problem.
you need to take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror.
I agree 1,000%.
Because as I said, you have the rest of your life to spend all of your time with your significant other. That is the rest of your life. Good news.
I have some controversial take on this at all. I don't think you should be obsessed with school in college either. Like, I think you should go to class. I think you should study. But I have never met a person who got so much more ahead because they got straight A's in college. You get your first job and then no one gives a fuck about what your grades were in college.
Totally.
So like we all like there were people that we went to college with who were like such anxious students and would go to the library 24/7.
Okay.
And she ended up marrying someone we know, ended up marrying the guy she was dating then and having a totally normal life. And I can't imagine that her grades in college have any impact on that. And she missed out on so much fun shit.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's going to be fine.
Like, your friends and being a good person and spending quality time with them should be the thing in college.
College is really about, like, it's kind of like the first time, like, your high school friends are not necessarily friends that, like, high school friends sort of feel a little bit like family. Like, they're people who, like, you, like, played sports with in kindergarten, or you were in the same class, or you were neighbors. And so, like, you just kind of grew up together and vibed with, and then, like, you're not a real person yet. And so whoever you would choose to hang out with as an adult isn't necessarily who you would choose to hang out with when you were in high school.
Yeah.
So then when you get to college, you're like learning about yourself, becoming a person, like finding what you're interested in, what kind of people you want to be friends with, what kind of people you don't. Like, you're like becoming who you're going to be.
Reminds me of that girl's quote where she was like, I'm busy. I have a dinner. And then I'm busy trying to become who I am.
Exactly.
Totally.
And so I think you have to, it's like really only 4 years if you're.
It's not 4 years, it's for life.
Sure. It's really only a few years of college that like you have to like figure out who you are and meet people who are going to like support you through life. And if you are wasting those years at the library or
Your boyfriend's apartment. Probably
you're making a huge mistake. Big mistake, huge.
I'll leave you with this quote. And it wasn't even a quote. It was Mindy Kaling was on Dak Shepard's podcast. And she was saying how in school, interestingly, she feels like the socialization and learning how to like communicate with her peers was more impactful than the studies. Like,
Yeah.
she was like, when I got into a writer's room, the ability to like communicate with these other writers and like that were from diverse backgrounds, which is what I learned in college, was 10 times more impactful than like the actual schoolwork. And I was like, that is what college is for. It's for socialization and like being a person.
Yes, that's what it's for. It's kind of like when
The pregame. It's the pregame to being a person.
yes, college is your person pregame.
You don't want to show up to life sober.
No.
You have to go to the pregame.
Yes.
We just came up with that. Are we geniuses?
Okay, wait, are we geniuses? It's sort of like when your parents make you get a job when you're in high school.
Yeah.
And they're just like trying to teach you. There are parents who are like, I don't want them to have a job. You're just a kid. Your job is to just focus on being a kid. And then they get to college and they're like, you don't need to have a job. Just focus on school. And it's like, no, because then you get out of college and you have to have a job and you have to have a family.
Too much.
Like, and you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to keep track
just
of
a
all these
kid.
things? I'm just a kid. It's like, there's no harm in making your kid, unless your kid has like other shit that they're dealing
Totally.
with. If they're just a normal kid, there's no harm in making your kid in high school have a part-time job where they have to balance their job and hanging out with their friends
Totally.
and schoolwork, because that is what happens in life.
It's the game called life. Wow, we are so wise beyond our years.
Beyond our years. Come to us for parenting advice.
Yeah, we can
Life
really
advice.
do it all. Should we change this to like a life guru podcast?
Isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. You're right.
Anywho's,
All right, I'll call you later.
call you later. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.